Hello everyone, welcome back to Bombe. We're teaching the computer to play Minesweeper here. I still don't know what this does. It says maximum regions, and if I said it, nothing happens. So I'll just say infinity for now. This isn't the puzzle we left off on, because I saw someone mention, you don't actually have to double click each of these little level sets. You can double click the shape up here. And by golly, it did start solving some of the puzzles that I had unlocked but left alone because I figured they were more complex than my current rules could handle. And it turns out there's a bunch, but I thought, I'll show those on camera rather than just say, oh, by the way, I solved 1 billion levels while you were gone. And we're almost unlocking the next shape here. We should surely get there, right? What's up with this? Infinite. Ooh. That's exciting. What could that even mean, I wonder? Well, okay. So now you see what we're doing here. I'm going to go just actually double click on all the shapes and we'll see how much it can solve. So I'm still in the middle of grinding through everything, but I wanted to pause to note a couple of things. First of all, it finished these two regions, or puzzle sets. Whatever rule I added recently was enough to get over whatever hurdles were left here. So this is the kind of reason why I don't necessarily want to just spend forever grinding out, oh, what exactly is missing in this puzzle, or one of these puzzles, right? I don't have this one solved at the moment. My current rule sets do not solve it. But trying to find the signal in all this noise is not necessarily what's needed. If there's a simpler thing I could do that will, a smaller puzzle that happens to contain the same issue, and I solve that, then the more complicated one will be solved as well. And the other thing is to note what is going on in this fifth column that it started opening. And it looks like, I think, there's no new rule types or clue types. There's just row and column clues, or edge, I don't know what you would call them exactly. Which just add ways that the game can define regions that it couldn't have done before. But in many of the cases, the difference between a column clue and a column clue placed by the game and a clue that has the same shape that you placed yourself doesn't really matter. It just means that there can be constructed, adjacency goes up, and so there's ways to construct situations that we haven't encountered before. But many of the puzzles don't actually do any of that, and that's why we're still solving them, even though we haven't addressed... we didn't solve much in this region on the first go, because it had clue types we'd never looked at, 0, 2, or 4. We didn't have any rules that handled 0, 2, or 4. In here, there are no new clue types. Anyway, so back to me grinding through this stuff off camera. Okay, I think we're done speeding through all that. A couple things happened. I think I already mentioned we unlocked this infinity thing, and I was interested in learning how it goes. Maybe I said that off camera, I don't know. We also unlocked server, which... who knows what that means? And I suspect we unlocked some new tools somewhere else. Did I get anything new here? Looking at... no, this is still locked, whatever this is. But if I yeah, I did... so by the way, it turns out this is not X, it's Chi. Silly me. And this is Psi. I'm just going to call it X and Y. Tough luck. So we now have multiple variables, and I'm interested to see how that works. Yes, I see. So, oops, change the window size like a weirdo. I had wondered if maybe, if it was possible to write x/y, basically. Because I only saw ways to write, x or x plus 1, or plus 2 or plus 3, but there's no x or x plus 4. And if you take this x and you go like this, then great. You get like x plus 4 and x plus 7, which is really the same thing as x slash x plus 3. And I thought, well, unlocking another variable will just give me a way to say this for y. But actually, you can toggle these variables separately. So I can say I want an expression that involves both x and y. And so then you can, I guess, get... It's small. I can't fucking read these. I understand why it's small, but you can have like x... Oh no, yeah, you still can't... I don't know, you can have x plus y and x plus y plus 1. But you can't have like x and x plus y. There has to be the same y in both of them. So really, okay. But anyway, you can have multiple variables in the same term. Fine. So that's cool. Nice to have that. That should improve a number of rules that I have. There are also some rules. This might just be a cleanup episode, honestly, because I don't have a ton of time to go exploring new puzzle types, and there's a few things here, like these 5 all are dumb. Like, I can just replace all of these with an X rule now. Does the little delete button work? It doesn't. Where is remove rule? So like remove that, remove that, remove that, remove that, remove that, and then just write a new rule. How does one do that here? Where if you have a region of size X and it has X mines, then they are definitely all mines. And like take that and drag it. Oh no. I can't put it near the top because I can't. Ah! I can't drag it any higher. I mean, I can, but I can only do one screen at a time. Can I like, I want to type 5 in this or something. Make this rule, I mean, okay. One thing I have considered doing, and I haven't done it yet, obviously, is just deleting all the rules and unclearing all the levels and starting over with new tools. There's in the main menu. I mentioned to the dev in a message during my first recording. I was trying to find your Discord, and I figured it would be linked from the main menu like many other games do, but it's not there. It's there now. So, cool. What the hell? There's another slider here for controlling something else? Maybe some kind of colors? You know, you can... I don't know. Anyway, interesting. So you can reset levels and reset rules. If you do, you keep all the stuff you unlocked. So just after unlocking a new tool might be a good time to look at things with fresh eyes. I don't know if I have the last tool that I'm going to want before I reset, but it's an interesting thing to think about. Another thing I wanted to think about was... like some of these... Oh. I noticed... get out of the rule inspector. This maximum region slider. As far as I could tell in like previous episodes, it doesn't really seem to apply, right? There's like a trillion regions here and it just keeps going and going. And I was like, what the hell is the deal with this? Well, while I was double clicking through shapes, I discovered that it does seem to apply when you're asking the game just solve every puzzle you can. If it gets to a level and there's like if there's a next level to go to because you're asking it to solve multiple levels, this is when it gives up. Only if you're saying, look, I'm looking at a single level because I want to solve it, does it ignore this. And that seems fair enough. So I wanted to look at some of these levels that have like an overwhelming number of regions and just see what happens if I press hint in this level. Does it clear out all the clues that aren't relevant? It looks like that's what it's doing, right? So maybe this thing of generating way more regions than necessary is fine, as long as I'm willing to take hints on some levels. Wow, it really is narrowing things down. Yeah. This, huh? That's still a lot. I find it hard to believe this is only 6 regions, but remember in Triangleville, like, every clue makes a very large region because it can touch so many things when you include going across corners. So this is still, like, unmanageable, I think. I would want to look at something smaller first. So, I mean, we could look at this or whatever. But I think I want to go see what's going on with Infinity. Oh, it doesn't look infinite to me. It just wraps around. Or, well, I guess that's sort of the same thing in a way. Wraps around to the right as well? Yeah. It's sort of the same thing because you can imagine this as wrapping around, or you can imagine it as a tessellation, right? Where, yeah, just above this, if this pattern of like 4 by 4 were repeating forever, 5 by 5? Sort of unclear. Then right above this, there would be one of these. And that's sort of the same thing as wrapping around, I guess. It's not like fractal because there is a repetition. But okay. I think thinking of this as a torus is more normal than thinking of it as infinite. We solved 2 of these. I mean, I don't know. We would probably solve some more if we tried. Yeah. Just go faster. I mean, honestly, why don't you just try all the infinites, I guess? It probably won't solve all that many because there really are new... Ah, it also has square shit. Oh, infinite hexes, infinite squares. I see. Instead of being more complex, it's just under different shapes. What's under infinite? That's what I gotta know. So this probably doesn't unlock that much, right? So maybe I'll just... Oh, look, we're almost there. We almost get this. What is this thing? I gotta know. I also still don't know what this percentage is. I heard some people in the Discord, it sounded like they might be saying, but I wasn't looking too closely, that this is the percentage of players who have finished this level? Maybe? I don't know. So the numbers are getting a lot lower as we're venturing into infinities. And I don't know who counts as a player. So what is this? Game mode? Is this like, I want to switch to normal Minesweeper and not have rules or something? That doesn't seem quite like it fits. I've asked for something like that, where I can like just draw. Oh wow, this is huge. This is way bigger than the hex grid at this size, isn't it? I think. I'm not sure. So that's in addition to the wraparound effect, of course. We're still solving a decent chunk of these with our existing rules. All right, yeah, I'll just check back in with you when this is done. Okay, so that's how we did on the infinities. We clear about half of the hexes and about none of the squares. Fair enough. I sort of like wonder what's going on in this column actually, because in the earlier puzzles, this column was where they started putting row and column clues, and that doesn't really make sense in an infinite context, right? there's just infinitely many, right? Or maybe 0. I guess they could say there's 0 in this column. Maybe? Or they could say infinitely many, but they couldn't say any other number. So let's see what's going on with the server. Is this like a weekly challenge kind of thing? Where these are the levels that... I mean, I don't know. It seemed like I churned through them pretty fast. And also, hang on, stop here. I didn't see anything like deeply new about this, right? So based on the name and what I'm seeing like in the puzzles, it seems like this might be kind of a weekly challenge thing where these levels are static and will never change, or at least not without game updates, you know, serious game updates. Whereas these change somehow and are stored on the server. Maybe? I know that, like, there are... Like, these levels aren't just randomly generated when you install the game or whatever. They were randomly generated when the developer created the game and packaged it up for distribution. Because, you know, the levels that I have played, I have seen other people asking for help with. You know, that one at the beginning of episode 3 where we put in our 0 or 2 rule for that chain of 4 ones is apparently one that people get stuck on a lot. And it was tricky for me too. Where, like, oh, what happened here? What goes in? I don't know. I guess these are just server clues with edge clues, probably. Anyway, it took me a while to figure out how to frame my understanding in a way that I could put into regions in the game. Anyway, so other people have had that experience as well. These server ones, I don't know. Like I said, my best guess is that they are randomly generated. I guess I'm going to step away while we just or fade out, I guess, while all these get solved. Because adding to our numbers would be nice. We would maybe unlock more stuff. It seems we are done. We have solved, I think, overall, a majority of all these server puzzles. But some rows and columns are better than others. And I want to see what now is going on with this game mode. I see. So this is like a way to challenge yourself to come up with no variables, max 300 rules? Wow, that seems tough. Just working with no variables and having any rule limit at all. Are you crazy? So once you've kind of, like, I guess, finished the game or finished enough of it to your satisfaction, you could say, look, I don't find 4 region rules very satisfying. I want to do everything with 3. Which I think makes sense that you can do that. 2 region rules would probably be no good. Probably? Well, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe there's some way you could do it, but it seems hard. Because it seems like with 3 regions, you can always synthesize a new region that tells you something interesting and then work with that region. And max 60 rules, I think this is just a drive for ultimate generalization? I don't really want to change to any of these right now. I'll stick with ice cream mode, I guess. Yes, regular. If I change this, is it... I see, so I can, like, maintain separate saves. Got it. Okay, that's actually interesting. Max 60 rules could be a cool place to hang out one of these days. Because it like, you know, right now I have 200. But what I want is to generalize a bunch of this stuff more, and now that I have more tools, maybe I can do so and use fewer rules. This would be a fun challenge for me. Maybe not going to start that today. I don't know how hard I want to push for like solving every single thing in vanilla mode or what. What else was I going to look at? Shoot, there was something. Oh, I wanted to see... Did I end up getting like more variables as a result of all that? No, but it's close. So it would be nice to unlock, what is this going to be? Zeta, maybe? A Greek letter that looks kind of like a Z to fit with the XY theme. What do I want to work on, though? We could see what's going on with these infinites, I guess. Take a brief look at that. Why it is that I haven't made progress here. What is special about this layout that I don't really have a rule for? There's only 4 visible rules. So worst case, I could just throw them all into the constructor and like manually solve it by hand and figure out where one mine should be and then tell the constructor that that's true for this layout. But hopefully I can do better than that. So this is a single... Oh, I see. This is the same as this, because we're actually working in this tiny, like, 3x3 region almost, right? Huh. And it's just been tiled to the left to show up as 5, but it's actually, like, more of a 3x3 area. I guess? It looks bigger than that, though, because this... I guess there's 4 different tiles here, and likewise here. And I guess there must be 4 wide as well. Yeah, before this bomb repeats. Okay. We've hidden some rules, which makes sense. Some regions, I should say. So this at most 1 touches this region twice, sort of. Indeed, okay. It says there's an overlap of 2, which, yeah, that's what I said. You can see 3 of them, of course, but one of them is like, it's a repeat from elsewhere. So it means there's at most 1 like between these 2. So there's room for at most 4 in this whole region, right? Because there's 2 spaces, you can only put 1 mine. So do I have a hidden rule that says something like that yet? No. I think there should be. If I have like a 1 or fewer in well, let's see. Okay, I mean, let's grab an X here. I don't care about how big that is, or how big this is, I think. Right, I only care about how big this is. There's space for 3 that don't touch the 1 or fewer. So there's space for at most 4 in the total, right? So what I want to do is say, if I have an x plus 2k region of size x overlapping, or the region is bigger, but there's an x-sized part of it that doesn't overlap with the 1 or fewer, then really the whole region is just size x. This is not 3 plus 2k, it's just 3, because there's no room for 5. Oh, that didn't solve it. Okay, and like I said, I don't have that much time. That's my timer going off, if you can, I assume you can hear it in the background. So this was just mostly a cleanup episode. We got to look into infinities and saw some new game modes, and we'll tackle them tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.